Hey everyone, this is the CI/CD UX meeting on August 2nd. Starting with our standard topics with Hannah wanted to mention the Q3 OKRs are being defined and will be available soon. So she'll share more info once the details are known. But two of the OKRs might center around the UX department completing the neurodiversity training and resolving usability benchmarking findings across Verify. So does anyone have any questions about those two? Awesome. So then we'll move into the product design section. I can voice Hannah's because there's important notice here about how she'll be providing coverage for Switchboard at 20%. So hands-on design work, milestone reviews, and team rituals. And this will continue until that role is backfilled. And they expect to onboard 5 customers to GitLab dedicated by the end of Q3, which puts a focus on the UX. So during this period, if you need support or she's blocking in any way, please be explicit about what's needed, and you can ping DM on Slack where she's most responsive. And then currently working on email notifications and the onboarding flow, gathering requirements to improve design proposals for the deployments page for Switchboard. So lots of updates to existing work, and that'll be kind of where her focus time will be. And she shared a customer call from Switchboard on Monday.
I think I'm next.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
If no one has any, but if no one has any questions, yeah, Gina, you can start.
Okay. I have attached a report that I wrote up about the mental model research study. And there's a lot of good insights that came out of it. I'm working on recording like a video and sending it out today, explaining a summary of that as well. But right now, one of our next steps is to run another survey, which is in progress, and I already have some data from it to finalize the terms that we use to explain the concept buckets. And then we're also asking users where they use those things in their workflows. This will help us like get a better idea of really what they think those words are. And then we can also use that to look at like pain points within the workflows that they bring up. And then the next item is that our next big thing for runners is to look at runner cost visibility, which is focusing on users who bring their own runners. So we're not going to be touching shared runners on SaaS because we use like our own pricing method for those users. And an example of this is like if you create a runner through AWS, we'll provide you visibility into how much that runner is costing you, like the machine and to run the jobs and everything. So I attached the issue there. Darren added like a ton of details, and we're just gonna work on scoping it down. But I talked with the team today, and we're gonna run a think big and think small on this, because my goal is to have the process of getting the first iteration for this feature out faster than what we did for the MVC dashboard.
Awesome. So I think I'm next if no one has any questions. So I'm just making progress this week on updating kind of artifacts for design sprints, starting with issue templates and slide decks that you can reuse during the sprints. Just let me know if there's anything design sprint related you'd like to see templated out, and I'll try and get to work on some of those. So some of the ones I haven't gotten to are each day of the sprint, those issue templates, as well as I'm going to make videos that you can share asynchronously on how to conduct sort of these activities or the homework we were calling. So there's a few things I'm still working on, but just wanted to share progress on that. The second thing being we did internal research on populating a service list 2 weeks ago. Now we're doing external research the good news is the results from both internal and external are really aligning. We're seeing a lot of the same feedback from both, which is great. So we're hoping to wrap that up in the next few weeks and move on to prototyping an MVC approach from this.
Yeah, that's a good thing that they're aligning.
Yeah, we were worried about. We were like, I hope GitLab isn't using GitLab differently enough that the results will differ, but there's a lot of the same things, which is really great.
Okay, there are no questions. I can proceed with mine. So first of all, thank you everyone for providing feedback last week on the secrets POC prototype, and you'll now find a revised design on the same Figma file. The next step for me is to create an interactive prototype and share the link with everybody who has signed up for the early adopter program for secrets. And then we'll just keep our fingers crossed to see what kind of feedback flows in. Beyond that, I mean that's a big thing that is about to be wrapped up this week. So, and now I can start looking at CI job token and variable work again. Yeah, besides that, I had a chat with the application security team here at GitLab. I organized a meeting with our engineering manager, product manager, the security engineer from AppSec, and myself. And it was really interesting. So I tried to understand like how is it that they are currently how are their workflows related to secrets being fulfilled today with the current set of features that we are offering. And they kind of walked us through it and also contributed to the user story map that we've been working with. So we definitely have to keep in mind, and one of the learnings was that we have to keep in mind the special kind of responsibilities or special permissions that any security any individual responsible for taking care of the security in any team organization would be requiring, and that's going to differ a little from what we are going to be thinking for maintainers, owners. So yeah, this was a really good meeting for us, and that's all.
Oh, if you don't have any other question, I can move on to mine. I don't have so much to share for this week. So we had a meeting last week, and this issue that I linked here is the outcome. So we decided to take a step back and then just like let's just forget about like everything, and then we just focus on the user flow and then their context, and then see what is the best solution for them, and then in which context are they starting to author the CI/YAML pipeline, or maybe they want to come into the CI/YAML and then maybe they want to just make some edit, and then probably that's the point that they started looking into the CI template component. So I like to just list down all the possible contexts and then make a journey map for each workflow. It seems like Gina has one question. Do you want to verbalize your question, Gina?
Yeah, it's kind of related, I guess. I just had a question on the progress of the CI/CD catalog and the navigation effort, because I saw on that page now that Foundation's team isn't allowing navigation changes until January of next year. And I was wondering like how that impacts your team progress.
I think of course I don't know at this point, because we already decided to take a step back, and then like based on the outcome that I come up with, like with the journey map or whatever design, then we are going to discuss, okay, which is the best placement. So the short answer would be no, I guess. So from my understanding, so okay, probably the project navigation is the best location for this reasons. then that means we can still ask for the request for the foundation team and then have those conversation back with better backup from the UX perspective and then also from the UXR perspective. So I wouldn't think it will be blocker for us, but at this point we just like decided, okay, let's take a huge step back. So I don't know if it would be a blocker or not. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does. One of the things that in our team call for runner today, we were bringing up the fact that our project runners view is in settings, and everywhere else it's in the navigation, like in build or in admin area, it's still called CI/CD, but same thing. And I was like, yeah, I mentioned that your team pipeline authoring is like going through this and it's been quite a struggle. And yeah, I'm a little nervous considering what I've seen from the stuff that you've gone through already. So I might end up talking to you more about it, depending on, I might create an issue just to get like their input so far. Because someone actually commented about it on the navigation feedback issue. They were like, why is runner still in settings for project when it's not in any of the other views? So maybe that helps, but we'll see.
Yeah, so my suggestion would be maybe you already started to getting more numbers and data and also those verbal feedback from users, and then just be ready to have those conversation with the foundation team once you're really sure about like, okay, this is the good place for the runner. Yeah, that would be my only suggestion.
Thank
for
you.
now.
Yeah.
By
Thank
the
you
way,
for
my issue is also going to come in, so I'm going to join the band in a while. Yeah, and I think to Gina's point that most things that we are placing in CI/CD settings, I'm not like very aware of what's happening with the other settings option, but with CI/CD settings, um, those particular items are facing discoverability issues, and I think we just need to see that what we can do, and it's impacting kind of 70% of the item that's inside the settings. So it's not just about runners and variables. It's about like how can we collectively improve the visibility of those items overall. And yeah, it will be a great chance for us to collaborate on this.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that our protected environment settings are there, and we've had a lot of like user feedback that no one can find our protected environment settings. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that location. That one is pretty deep in the setting. Yeah.
it's deep, and it
Since I
also is sitting in an area that people aren't expecting it to be in, and it's not linking, you can't link it to the edit, or just we recently started linking it from the edit environment, but before you'd go to edit environment and it wouldn't be there, so that was even more confusing.
I have an observation there that in most of the other products, because we did a competitor evaluation recently, so I was just like passively looking at their menu options. Our like anything that's placed under settings in any of these sections, it actually cascading in 2 steps. And that's not the case with other products. They have their settings navigation separate from like everything all together. So it doesn't feel like everything is very hidden.
You mean they have it like in a separate, like almost
On
when
a
you
separate
go on a
page, kind of.
profile? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, and the one thing I noticed is sometimes we just put things like to configure also inside the settings. And is it really settings or is it something to configure? And yeah, that's sometimes confusing to me. So maybe this is a good opportunity for all of us to, I don't know, do some fun work like settings UI version 2.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we even talked about just removing protected environments from the settings and just moving it into the edit environments page, because we're like, that makes so much more sense for it
Yeah.
to
Actually, it
in that
does.
page.
Actually, it does. Yeah.
And then maybe have an overview in settings, but like, I don't know. For us, it doesn't quite make sense why it's sitting there.
Yeah. And just a different kind of semantic grouping, like for example, variables, tokens, secrets, they would all be kind of managed the same way, but they'll be scattered all across, even if it's on the same page. Let's see. I'll think of something.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Just wanted, if there were any other, it looks like research is both away this week, so I don't think we'll have anything from them.
Yeah.
Cool. Does anyone else have any other questions? If not, we can end this slightly earlier. Cool. Sounds good. Well, hope everyone has a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.